Can you go to jail for simply arguing with a woman in the Philippines? It sounds outrageous, but in some cases, it's absolutely possible. Because under Philippine law, what you say can be just as damaging and just as punishable as what you do. Today, we're diving into a topic that's got people talking and arguing. Let's break it down step by step. When can an argument turn into a crime? What are the actual laws involved? And how do you protect yourself on either side of the dispute? Section 1. It's not just arguing. First things first, arguing on its own is not illegal. We all do it with friends, with coworkers, with our partners. But the moment those arguments turn into verbal abuse, threats, public humiliation, or gender-based harassment, that's when the law gets involved. Section 2, RA 9262. Verbal abuse in relationships. Let's start with RA 9262, the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act. If you're a man in a relationship, married, dating, even just former partners, or you repeatedly insult or demean your partner, you could be charged with psychological violence. Think about this. Calling her gaga, inu tal bali, or threatening her with harm. That can be interpreted as abuse under the law. Even if you never lay a hand on her, and here's the kicker. If those words cause emotional distress, anxiety, depression, trauma, you can be imprisoned for up to 12 years. Yes, 12 years. Just from emotional and verbal abuse. Example, case of psychological abuse. Take this example. A woman goes to court because her husband constantly degrades her in front of their children. No punches, no bruises. Just years of insults. She suffers anxiety, needs therapy, and eventually breaks down. That was enough for the court to convict him of psychological violence under RA 9262. He got 6 years in prison. The Safe Spaces Act. Public or online harassment. Okay, so what if it's not your partner? What if it's a stranger on the street, a coworker, or someone you argued with online? That's where RA 11313, the Safe Spaces Act, comes in. Under this law, verbal harassment based on gender, even if it's just words, can get you fined or even jailed. That includes things like calling a woman maland during an argument, saying, "Siguro may pinagadanan kabala kakazi," making degrading remarks on social media posts, repeated sexist insults in public or at work. It doesn't even have to be sexual, just humiliating or degrading words because she's a woman. And it only takes one report to start a criminal case. First offense, a seminar and fine. Second offense, 6 to 10 days in jail. Third offense, 30 days plus bigger fines. Section 4, slander and unjust vexation. Do you still think arguments are always harmless? Think again. Under the revised penal code, you could also be charged with oral defamation, or what we call slander, especially if you say something false, insulting, or humiliating in public. Even if you're not in a relationship with the woman, even if it's a one-time argument. Example, you scream at a woman in public, call her magnanaka without proof. That's grave slander, punishable with months of jail time. Or you won't stop provoking or insulting someone just to annoy them. That's unjust vexation. Still a crime, still punishable. Section 5. Intent and emotional impact. So here's the bottom line. Whether you get convicted depends on a few key things. Was the insult meant to control or shame? Was it done in public or in front of children? Did the victim suffer real emotional harm? This isn't about being overly sensitive, it's about mental and emotional safety. And the courts take that seriously. Let's recap the 3 key laws you need to know. 1. RA 9262. Verbal abuse in relationships equals 6 to 12 years in prison. 2. RA 11313. Public or online sexist insults equals up to 30 days in jail. 3. Revised Penal Code slander, defamation, unjust vexation equals up to 6 months in jail. So yes, arguing with a woman can become a criminal offense. Not because you had a fight, but because of how you spoke, what you said, and who got hurt. Let's be better. Disagreements are natural. But once it turns into verbal abuse or harassment, it's no longer just an argument. It's a legal issue. So if you're arguing with someone, be mindful, not harmful. Because once you cross the line, you might find yourself behind bars in the Philippines. If you found this helpful, give us a like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And if you've ever been a victim or accused, know your rights and seek legal guidance. Until next time, Stay informed and stay respectful.